Welcome to another series of journeys. This time we are going to discuss a very important journey, and that journey of integration. Now, integration means combining each and everything. Integration is the real job of project manager. So he is the person who has to integrate everything, combining each and every single part of the project. So when we do integration, the major thing is that we make project management plan. There are few things that happen before even project management plan that actually comes under integrations. Develop project charter. So project charter is also something that is integrating the entire project, so it also comes under integration. So we make project charter there. Once the charter is done, we make stakeholder register, and then we start preparing project management plan. Now, project management plan is something that is a document. It's simply the most important document, most important plan actually throughout the project. It consists of all four baselines: scope baseline, schedule baseline, cost baseline, and combining all these three baselines, performance measurement baseline. So all the four baselines are the part of project management plan. All the plans, scope, schedule, cost, quality, resource, communication, stakeholder, risk, procurement, life cycle development, change management plan, and configuration management plan are the part of project management plan. Okay, so once all these plans are made, they are iterative. They go to the sponsor or change control board and they get approved. Once they are approved, this plan becomes the baseline. Now if you want to change anything in any of the plan, it needs to go to change control board and it has to be approved properly, and they are assessed how change in one plan will affect all those plans. We have two things in the project. One is product life cycle or product. Second is, let me use another pen, project. Okay, so project is the part inside of the product. Product can have initiation like need assessment, how it was started, business case, all those things, and after the product like operations and the entire life cycle. For example, this can be 25 years. If I take example of a normal hydro project, okay, or a construction bridge project, the project can be 2 to 3 years. In order to tackle any change in the project, in order to tackle any kind of change in the project, we have change control board, change management plan. So any change in the project will be handled by the change management plan. We have a change control board. These changes are more relevant to scope, schedule, cost, all the four baselines: scope, schedule, cost, and performance measurement baseline. All other plans are basically part of project, are part of a change management plan. So this is very important thing. Whereas any change in the product like version control, if you are managing the version, you have this kind of version and suddenly you get an updated version, that must come under configuration management plan. So that is configuration management plan. A very important thing. All the versions, all the artifacts, documents will be handled by configuration management plan. Anything that is handed over after the project to the customer, that comes under configuration management plan. Most of the time you can consider version and artifacts come under the configuration management plan. Now, change management plan, configuration management plan, they are the part of the project management information system, also known as PMIS system. Every communication that happens inside the project comes under this thing: change management, configuration. If you are using email, Microsoft Outlook, Primavera, WhatsApp, any communication that you will do will come under PMI system, and PMI is enterprise environmental factor. An important question that can be asked in the exam. So that's integration. You use expert judgment technique and all those things. And in integration, you make a plan. Once the plan is approved, you start doing execution. Real work start happening in execution. So the work start happening in execution, and in execution we will get deliverables. Deliverables will be produced, a tangible thing for which we have undertaken the project. A deliverable can be the entire project or a part of the project. And we know what happens in the journey of deliverable. It goes to quality, becomes verified deliverable. It goes to validate scope, becomes accepted deliverable. Then it goes to closing. Okay. We also produce work performance data, the lowest form of data, lowest form of information or report, that raw information. You need to contextualize that data. We also produce issue log. Now, issue log is a very, very important document that is being produced here. Any kind of a problem that comes in the project, it comes under the domain of issue log. A very important difference to note in risk and issue. Risk is probability into impact. If something is going to happen, okay, and we identify it, it comes as a risk. And unidentified things that like any uncertainty, there is a probability 0 to 99.99, that's a risk. An uncertain event, okay, that's a risk. But if something happens, if something occurred, it becomes an issue, and the issue must go into the issue log. Let me give you another example. The question you can see in exam or in the box. An unidentified risk has occurred. What should the project manager do next? Since it is an unidentified risk has occurred, so once something has occurred, its probability has become 100%. So it's not risk anymore, it's an issue. We will update the issue log. Another thing, okay, and an identified risk has occurred. Now it was identified, so what should you do? You update the risk register, an important thing. Or a risk has occurred. A risk has occurred, you update the risk register. If it is identified, and if it is unidentified, issue log. A problem has occurred, you update the issue log. Now another question can ask you, so you are worried that this issue can reoccur, what you should update? Again, if this issue can reoccur in this project or in the next project, you update issue log, important thing. Another thing that I produced here is lesson learned register. So here actually because we are starting the work, so we have started working on it. We are collecting the lesson learned from all the people. The lesson learned can be explicit knowledge, the knowledge that can be easily represented in number, or it can also be tacit knowledge, the knowledge that experience, like, hey, how did you feel watching the journeys video? What is your experience? Now every person experience is different. It is difficult to represent in numbers. So you basically communicate, you put down in that comment, hey, that's how I'm feeling, how I'm learning, and I'm getting a great feedback from all of you, how you are learning. So that is more of a tacit knowledge. So explicit knowledge, tacit knowledge, all kind of knowledge are put into the lesson learned register. Okay, so information is put into the lesson learned register, and at the end of the project we put the lesson learned register into lesson learned repository, and it is used for the future project. Another important thing, we are updating lesson learned register not for the current project. We are updating lesson learned register so that we can use it for future. So let me give you a flow. That's a very important flow in the project. So let's say an identified risk has occurred. Identified risk has occurred, so we will update the risk register. Once it has occurred, if the risk is closed, then it is updated in the risk register, and we take the lesson from that risk. We take the lesson from that risk and we put it in the lesson learned register. In the lesson learned register, and at the end of the project, we put all the lesson learned register into the lesson learned repository, a database of all the lesson learned register. If an issue has occurred, or if an unidentified risk has occurred, a problem has occurred, we put it into the issue log. we do the root cause analysis of the issue, why this issue has occurred, how, and if we need a change request, we do the change request, we resolve the issue, update the issue. Once the issue is resolved, we get the lesson learned and put it into the lesson learned register, and then of course we put it into the lesson learned repository. So this is more of a all integration thing. What do you do in the integration? Important things about integrations are we produce project management plan, we do the execute the work, lesson learned registers are produced, and the last thing about integration is reporting. We know the journey of the work performance data has been produced. We discussed the work journey of work performance data. It goes to all monitoring and control processes. It goes to the all scope schedule where everyone contextualize these data and work performance information get produced. Work performance information goes directly, the data produced, work performance data is produced, it becomes work performance information. Each department produce their own individual information and project manager combines it and produce a work performance report. So that's also an integration. All the changes are approved, all the reports are produced, work is done, plan is approved. So a lot of work in integration. So let me summarize for you integration one more time. Project charter is approved in integration. Project management plan is the real thing that is done integration. Project management plan is the combination of all plans, all baseline. Once the plan is approved, we start working. When we are working, we produce deliverable. You need to know the journey of deliverable. We produce work performance data. You need to know how work performance data get converted into information and report, and all the information is given in the project. Issue log is produced. We discussed a lot what happens with the issue log, how do you deal it, how do you update it. You write down the lesson learned, both tacit knowledge, explicit knowledge. Any change that is produced, either dealing with a project, we go with the change control board and changes are approved in integration. We integrate all the changes, like we check how one change will affect the other changes. We integrate everything. Then we have configuration system management plan that is dealing the changes with the product, like version control, artifact. We discussed how we report all those things. And finally, we go with the closing. I will discuss the closing in the next journey. So that's all for today, guys. I hope this integration is clear. A very important part, a combination of all the journeys, I would say, the integration. So I hope you are enjoying these journeys videos and you are loving it. Do give a feedback wherever you are watching it. How do you like it? And if you have not subscribed so far, do subscribe this channel because our commitment is increasing day by day, day by day. And guys, if you have not done PMP and you are looking for a training course, you can join our one-to-one program, my premium mentor program, or you can join our batch program. Our next batch program is starting on this Friday and we have only 2 slots left. We only take 20 students and only 2 slots left. Thank you very much. Like always, become certified PMP, and if you do let me know. I would love to record your journey. Live with passion. Bye-bye.